And let's talk about green goals. And the way that this started, Barb, you know the conversations that we have off camera as you're waiting to go live. I was at City TV. We were going to be talking about plastics. And one of the camera guys off to the side, he says, you know, I've never recycled in my life. This is a man mid to late 30s. Never recycled. I said, how can you have not recycled? The whole room, 6 people, say, how could you have not recycled? He says, it's too much work. I don't know what goes where. Andy Schultz whipped his neck faster than I've ever seen him do it, and I've seen him at hockey games. I said, you know what you need to do? You need a green goal. And he said, I have no idea what that is. I said, you work in TV, so you eat terrible food. He said, yes. I said, you have Hungry Man dinners in the freezer right now? He said, yes. I said, this week not a single box goes in the garbage. He said, I can do that. I said, next week the plastic tray is recyclable. You put that in the bin as well. He said, I can do that this week. And he had his first green goal. And that's how this started. What are the little things that we can do, every single one of us? Because we all have goals. We have goals for everything in our life. Our work, our education, our money, our home, our travel, our family, our romantic life. Everything that we do in our life that we are successful at, we set a goal for. Our travel goal probably looks like this. How many in the room would want to go on that trip? Yeah. How about your home goal? Nice garden, manicured lawn. Maybe not for everybody, but a lot of Canadians want this. That's their dream. And your romantic goal looks like this. That's mine. Now, Andrew, our rain barrel sales coordinator, did let me know today when he saw my slide. He said, those people are faking. They're far too clean to actually be camping right now. It's not my picture, I borrowed it. But Canadians have common themes in their goals. Study after study shows we love our country. We are passionate about Canada, about our natural spaces, about our national parks. We love our water, we love our trees, we love this country. We're born loving it. This is my daughter with my father-in-law and my daughter with my wife. That's her first time at a U-Pick. She ate those green onions straight out of her hand and had onion breath for 3 days. But we're born loving the earth, connected to it. And we do what we're taught. So in 1950, everything went in the steel bin, then it went in the back of the truck, and you never saw it again. Just like Marlon Brando with smoke on his brake. As science evolves, we need to keep up. New programs roll out, we adapt. New technology arrives, we go with it. Just like any new skill or life change, you need to set the goal to be successful. And setting a goal will help you be successful at being more environmentally friendly, at lowering your impact. Because if we do nothing, we get nothing. So let's do something today. Let's everybody in this room commit we're going to have one green goal by the end of today. And I know what it's going to be for at least 3 of you because I'm going to yell about it. The average Calgarian uses 7,000 liters of water each month. Let's understand our baseline before we set our goals. 7,000 liters of water each month. About 35% of it is bathing. I like clean people. I'm really happy that everybody here smells good today because that lobby was a bit tight. 30% is used for flushing. Okay. Only 10% for drinking and cooking. What this graph doesn't account for is come the summertime what we use for watering our lawns. The OECD report from 2013 says, despite improvements in household water conservation, Canada remains one of the largest per capita users of fresh water in the world. Only the Americans use more fresh water. So we have abundant resource, and we use it. But we can do better. understanding our waste, we produce almost 800 kilograms of garbage each year, each Canadian. That's the third highest in the world. Bahrain produces more than us. We produce more than double the garbage per person that Japan does. We scored a D on our report card. I never got a D when I was in school, but now we all know. And 9% of our waste is plastic that we throw out. Not recycle, throw out. So about 70 kilograms of plastic every year. To put that into context, plastic doesn't break down. And we just started using it in 1974. If you think about 70 kilograms a year for you over the last few years, how much plastic is in our landfills from you? And our carbon footprint in Alberta, 66.6 tons per capita. Nobody in the room is surprised about that. We're about triple the national average. Industry drives a lot of that, but it doesn't drive all of it. There are things that we can do. And I don't mean to be alarmist. I'm not presenting this information to scare anybody. I'm presenting it so that we understand where we're starting from. It's not a finger wag because I'm in the same community as you. And I have the same green goals as you. And I'm on the same journey as you. So let's talk about what we can actually do, because there's no magic switch that can make it all better. We have to take action ourselves. Everyone, every single person in this room and every single person in Calgary can positively impact the environment. And there are these common knowledge things. Don't run the water when you brush your teeth, but we still do sometimes. Take a short shower, except for when you're traveling on the road and in the hotel and they have the really nice one and then you stand there for half an hour. Don't idle your car, except for when it's cold, right? There's all of those common knowledge things that we're supposed to do that we know, and we try to do them, but it's not a goal, so we're generally fairly passive with it. The only way to achieve a goal is to set a goal. That's important enough that I'll say it again. The only way to achieve a goal is to set a goal. So how can we use less water? Well, harvest your rainwater. One rain barrel, 3,200 liters a year. If you use 7,000 liters, if the average Calgarian does, and you're slightly under the average, that's as if you turned off your tap for 2 weeks out of the year. You didn't use a drop of water from one rain barrel. How many in the room have one rain barrel? How many have more than one? It's as if you turned off the water for months. Thank you. Garden with less. Use drip irrigation, container gardening, buried clay pots. Really cool concept. We have a book on that. We'll talk about it. Eat pulses and other vegetable proteins. Don't stop eating meat if you like it, but introduce more veggie proteins. A veggie protein uses 1/3 the amount of water of a cow. So your quarter-pound hamburger versus a veggie burger, a lot different water footprint. Stop watering your lawn. When I told my father-in-law that, he gave me the eyebrow. I wasn't invited back for dinner that afternoon. And keep track. Everybody in the room gets a bill every month. It says how much water you used. Pull up your old one, see what you were using last year. Compare it to this year. See how much water you're using. And set a goal. I want to reduce by 3%, 5%. You set your goal. Using a rain barrel is not going to save you hundreds of dollars every year, but it's going to make a big difference to the environment. Some of the resources that we have in our Little Green Library opening next weekend. Gardening with less water. This is where I learned about clay pots. Your water footprint and the sustainability secret. The water footprint talks all about everything in your life and how much water it takes to make it. How many gallons of water to make your cotton dress shirt, Conor? I dare not look. Talking about waste, how do we reduce that 800 kilos each year? Well, we reduce how many retail packaged items we buy. And that doesn't mean go to the thrift shop for everything. The song was trendy. It got a lot of us to go check it out. It's cool. But you don't have to buy everything there. It's about conscious consumerism. It's about saying, do I need to buy it? Or can I upcycle something I already have? Asking for no junk mail. I have fantastic apps on my phone that I get all of my advertising and all of my flyers from. So I've asked for no junk mail. Recycle everything. If it's not recyclable, don't buy it. And compost. Try bokashi or vermicomposting. We were talking about worms before we kicked off. How many have tried bokashi? Using lactic acid to ferment your compost. Super cool. We have books on it, we have the expertise, and keep track. How often do you put out your black cart? Your blue cart? Start keeping track of how much waste you're producing. And read some of our resources that we have at the store. The Paper Playhouse, fantastic book, tells you how to take your Canadian Tire catalog that was delivered this week. How many got one? I got it. Tells you how to make that into really cool crafts for your kids. So you know what my kids are doing this weekend? They're cutting up the Canadian Tire catalog, and I think the tent is going to become a paper airplane. To talk about plastic, that 9% of our waste, let's stop buying single-use plastic items and single-use things that are packed in plastic. It's actually really easy to do this if you look around the store. And drink like a coordinated adult. And don't have straws. 4 months ago, I was in the office and I was chatting with Jillian Spence. I think many of you have met her. And she told me what she thought about straws. Straws are plastic. Straws are small. We produce billions of them every year, and they're not recyclable. From 1974 until today, every single straw that was ever produced is still here. I haven't used a straw except for once since Jillian told me. And I'm asking you today to stop using plastic straws as a single-use item. Please make that one of your green goals. Recycle everything and keep track. This one's a little bit harder to keep track of than your water. It requires some effort. But keep track of how much plastic you're throwing in the garbage because you can't recycle it. Your K-cups, buy the reusable filter if you must use the single-use brewer. At my home, we have a carafe, and we have this lovely item we bought at London Drugs for $6. You use the paper filter, you put the grounds in. It works like a Keurig. It actually takes less time. But if you must use your Keurig brewer, then please use the reusable filter. The bags that you see on the screen are laminated plastic and are not recyclable. And reducing our carbon footprint. Stay warm in the summer and cool in the winter. 2 degrees is all it takes to impact your energy use by 9%. In the summer, let your house get 2 degrees warmer. In the winter, 2 degrees cooler. One of our Alberta premiers famously said, if you don't like your energy bill, wear a sweater. He angered a lot of people, but he was right. It'll save you money, and it'll save your carbon footprint. Take a bus, a train, carpool, or fly economy. All things where we condense the number of people using the same amount of energy to get to the same place. Or hop on your bike. This is my bike. Last year, it was my first terrible blowout. This is over by Telus Spark. I was 22 kilometers into my ride. I blew my tire, promptly blew up my CO2 pump, which shredded my second tube. I was waiting for my wife to rescue me when I took that picture. Tried to make it look like a happy day. Hop on your bike, go for a ride. If you don't have a lot of stuff to carry to and from where you're going, the bike works just fine. We don't need the car. And keep track, how much are you spending on gas in your vehicle? How many of us keep track of our mileage on our car? A handful. And read books that help you understand your carbon footprint. David Suzuki's Green Guide, really easy to digest book that goes through every aspect of your carbon footprint, from what you buy, where you buy it from, and how you use it, and how you dispose of it. It's a fantastic read. And garden. Choose what you want to grow, how you want to grow it, flowers, plants, veggies, it doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be complicated, time-consuming, or expensive. We have great, great resources. Help the bees. Honey Nut Cheerios wants you to save the bees. Plant a pollinator-friendly garden. And make it a family affair. I can't be the only person with kids who love recycling because kids love what you tell them to. So set family goals. Everybody has a role to play. My daughter gathers up all of the plastics that we need to take to the bottle depot. And she helps us fill the blue cart every week when it's time to put it out. Every single person in your family can impact the environment, not just mom and dad. So help your family learn those good habits now and provide them with some resources from the Little Green Library. You can even do gardening with kids. And have that thirst for information. You're here today because you came for more information. Don't stop here. Use reliable sources. Sign up for newsletters. The Green Calgary one is great if I can plug it. But there are other really good ones out there too. Sign up for them and read them. And support the green causes that you're passionate about as a monthly donor or a regular contributor. These are some of the local books that we have in the Little Green Library. The spiders one we've been getting some great reaction to in the lobby today. People didn't realize we had large, friendly spiders in Alberta. That's all that I have for you today. Thank you everybody for listening to my talk. Give us a moment to reset and we'll have our next speaker up. Thank you.